us. Please hold.
Welcome. This is another episode of our homework workouts. So, today's workout, you're going to need for a bag and a jump rope. Let's get started.
Please hold for a very important message.
Today's warm-up, let's get started on that one right away. I have Mariska and Jenny here showing you 3 movements that we're going to turn into a 6-minute quality AMRAP. Let's have a look. The first movement is called a top to bottom, or bottom to top, or top to bottom. That's the wrong word actually. Bottom to top arm swing, right? We're going to stand in a wider stance. We're going to reach for the floor, just collapsing from the back and reaching up overhead and leaning back as far as we can. Oh, reach there, come back down. Here we go. Yoga teachers would be proud of us. We do that for a couple of reps here just to show you guys, just go in your own speed and your own flow and just let mobility tell you where to go in this one. You ladies can rest. Thank you. Our second movement for that one, we're going to place the feet very much close together, so all the way against each other. Then we're going to first press down the knees forward as far as we can. Press the knees forward as far as we can, while the heels remain on the floor. Very important. Now we're going to start rotating in the same direction. Yes, that's going very well. Nice. And the idea is very simple, guys. We're going to try to push the knees forward as far as possible while maintaining contact with the heels in the floor, which is a nice dynamic way of warming up the ankles and getting them a little bit more flexible for the narrow squats that we have in the workout today. Perfect warm-up movement. Now, the third movement is going to be done in a downward dog position, and in that position we're going to alternately push the legs down, so kind of like a calf push down. Let's have a look at that. This is a good prep for the hips, and at the same time we have a good prep. You guys can start. Have a good prep for the double unders, because those are in the workout as well today, because that's why you need to row. So you see 2 very beautiful downward dogs, and one at a time they're pressing their legs down, so their heels down into the floor, while the other leg is bending a bit. So you can change the stress and you can actually get some more stress on the leg you're pressing down. Downward dog, calf push downs. It is time to get started. We just showed you the 3 movements. Now you're going to get into action. We're going to do 6 minutes of a quality AMRAP. We're going to have 5 of the touching the floor, reaching overhead and back. We're going to have 10 ankle circles to the left, 10 to the right. And then we finish off around with alternating calf push downs while being in that beautiful aim frame, which they call the downward dog in this case. Good little warm up. Mariska and Jenny are ready. I hope you guys are ready. I'm going to count you guys down. Don't go fast, go for quality. 3, 2, 1, and let's get started. So you touch the floor, you reach up and back, and you want to make this as big of a range of motion as you can possibly do, right? So when you're reaching back, you actually open up the hips perfectly in a very simple movement. I think there's probably a name for this movement as well, but it's a good way of opening up the body after a stiff night of sleep. Now we start on the ankle rotations. They move from front to left first. And the focus point is very simple, guys. Get range of motion in there while maintaining contact with the heels in the floor. 10 little rotations to one side, and then obviously also 10 little ankle rotations to the other side. Very nice to prep the ankles and the calves for the jumping action today. And in the meantime, also prepping the ankles for the narrow squats that we have in today's workout. So they're finishing up their second set of 10, the one to the other side, before moving down into a downward dog position, which they can both beautifully demonstrate for you guys, and then start doing the calf push downs. And you see that they're almost moving at the same pace here, kind of at home. If you're running behind or you're running ahead, it doesn't matter what pace you hold, as long as you have the idea that you're moving for quality here, with the goal of getting warmed up and mobile for the workout today. Here we go, 20 alternating reps. Good. So while they're finishing up their calf push downs, I need you guys to keep going for a couple more minutes to make it 6 in total on this general warm up. Continue and press pause. The middle portion of the day is going to be just plain ass mobility, focusing on the hips, getting for a good squat position. Since we have 3 different types of squats in the workout, narrow, wider and regular stance squats, it's good to get some mobility work done specifically for that movement. We're going to do classic movements as mobility. So let's have a look at Mariska and at Jenny. And I need you guys to already start going with us, because this warm up will start right away. They're sitting in a squat here and they're pushing one knee out while the other knee stays in spot, actively doing that, and they're actually starting, and you at home as well, in 3, 2, 1, right now. So 30 seconds of driving one knee out over the foot. You can use your elbow for that, or as Mariska's a little deeper and more comfortable in the squat bottom, she can push out with the hand while she keeps the other in spot. Here we go, 15 more seconds of this one, and then at home as well, we take a 20-second break before switching sides. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. A 20-second break, so you can stand up for a tiny second, get your hips up, and then in 12 seconds from now, we start the same movement, but then on the other leg at home, you're joining now, so you're doing this as well. I'm looking at my clock here. It is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's get started on the other side. So beautiful deep squat. Make sure you maintain pressure in the entire foot, both of them of course, and really actively press out that knee. And the good thing here is if you're pressing out one knee, you want to make sure the other one doesn't move at all, which means you're actually working both at the same time. Nice. We got 10 more seconds here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Now for the next one, we're also going to be in a squat, but we're going to rotate our upper body and then look towards the ceiling and reach. I need them to already go there so you guys can see it and start with us right away in 10 seconds. They're already going to start with this one by rotating towards the ceiling and focusing on keeping the knees in line with the toes. And we officially start in 3, 2, 1, right now. Here we go. Rotating, opening up, staying in that nice and deep squat here. Keeping the knees in line with the toes. Beautifully done. Nice. So 15 more seconds. 10 more seconds. And then we have a 20-second break before we switch to the last one. 3, 2, 1, rest. So a 20-second break. And after the 20-second break, we'll finish up by going to the other side. They're already now still sitting in a squat. At home, that might be a good challenge to do this entire warm-up while sitting in a squat. We got 10 more seconds and then we finish up the first round of 2. In 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So keep one knee in spot, actually both of them, and then actively rotate from your spine all the way up and get comfortable in that squat while moving the upper body through rotation. Very nice. Reaching for the ceiling, getting that lower back warmed up as well. 10 more seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1, and rest. So that was just one round. It is a total of 2 rounds, but what I recommend you to do is squeeze in another one because it's very good stuff to do, and then we'll pick it back up later with the actual workout. Stay tuned, press pause. In order to get prepped for this workout, we're going to show you 5 different movements. Actually, it's 3, but one of them has 3 different styles. In order to get properly prepped, I need you guys to actually start practicing these with us. Listen to me and look at Jenny and Mariska demoing this for you guys. The first 3 movements are all variations of a classic bodyweight squat. So for the first one, I want you to place your feet next to each other. Let's have a look at it. We call this the narrow stance squat. From here, we're going to still kind of initiate from the hip. We're going to drive our knees forward. There we go. Now, it's going to be very hard for most of you to reach a proper depth here, but that is all good. I want you to go as deep as you possibly can while maintaining contact with the heels in the floor, having more pressure in the front foot than you would normally have in a squat. So no depth requirements here, just go as deep as you can and find your knees going forward as much as possible while maintaining contact with the heel. Now the second variation, I want you to place your feet way wider than you would do in a regular squat. Let's look at them here. Now when you initiate this sumo squat, you ladies can start now so people at home can see it. I still want you to think of this. I'm gonna sit back, but I'm gonna make sure that my knees are really in the outside of my foot. So if you're so wide that your knees are caving in, I want you to either force the knees out a bit more or get your stance slightly more narrow so you can actually have your knees tracking the toes properly. Sumo squats. Now our third variation, you go to your most comfortable and strong squatting stance, and in that position you're going to do your regular squats. Now while they're doing their squats, I'll give you my 4 simple points of performance for the squat that I always give you guys. 1 being heel, big toe, little toe, always in contact with the floor. 2 being knees tracking the toes. Number 3 being sit your butt on your heels. And number 4 being keep the chest up nice and high. Solid squats. Now let's take a break here and let's have a look at Mariska showing you what to do if you have an injury on the knees. And what she's going to do is 3 different types of glute bridges. With the first one being a narrow glute bridge. So she's going to have her feet connected together. She's going to make sure her hips are folded around her belly button. She's going to squeeze her butt and she's fighting the urge to arch here. Solidly performed, there's more pressure in the heels than there is in the toes. The second variation is going to be, let's call it a butterfly kind of glute bridge. The legs are wide. The funny thing is now she's actively pressing her feet into each other, pressing the side of her foot into the floor. With the knees out gives you a different stimulus here in the glutes, used for doing this glute bridge. Now the third variation, similar as with the squats, you take your strongest stance, toes slightly pointed in, heels pressing into the floor, hip folded around the belly button, regular stance hip width, and just doing the glute bridges. Very nice. So still 3 different variations of the glute bridge. So you still have that different stimulus that we're also looking for in the squat today. Now, our second movement, or the fourth, depends on how you look at it, is going to be with the bag, and we're going to do clean and presses here. So I'm going to have Jenny and Mariska set up right away by going to the regular bottom of a clean, and that's very simple for me, guys. It means hips down, chest up. From there, they're going to clean into the shoulder, shaboom, and they're going to press it overhead. Here we go. Resetting the floor. You guys do a couple of reps for the people at home. Guys, you can make this power clean, muscle clean. You can make this shoulder press or push press, whatever floats your boat. I just want to see good action from the legs and the hips to drive the bag up. And I want to see shoulder action on the way to overhead. And what I need you to do to make this interesting is load this bag with objects. Get some books in there, grab a couple of good books, some encyclopedias, some law books or whatever that's thick and full of knowledge. Or grab some heavy bottles in there, that would be nice as well. Now, instead of showing you, the simple scaling option for injury is the following. If you cannot go overhead, but you can do the clean, you do 18 cleans and you ditch the overhead portion, so you ditch the press. If you cannot clean because of an elbow injury, but you can go overhead, you double the amount of presses and you don't do a clean at all. Good. Now let's have a look at the last movement that we're going to do in this workout, which is a double under, for which you need the jump rope. We also provide you with options if you don't have a jump rope at home or you cannot jump because you live with people underneath. So, first thing they do is they're both going to do double under work or jump rope work. Let's go. Good. So Jenny is hitting doubles here and actually tripping on doubles, which is all good. And Mariska is hitting her single unders. And rest. Good. So when Jenny was jumping, she had the rope coming underneath the feet twice every time she was jumping. When Mariska was jumping, the rope came underneath the feet only once every time she jumped. She did jump with 2 feet at the same time, which is a necessity for this style of single under that we look for as a substitutive or scaling movement for the doubles, right? Now, if you do that single under, I want to see 45 reps instead of the 30 that we need to see with the double under. Now, what Mariska's going to show you is an other option than the regular jumping jack that we often throw in. If you don't have a jump rope at home, which is the double tap jump. Let's show me this guy. So while she's doing this, she's simulating the rhythm. And rest. So she was simulating the rhythm of the rope going underneath the feet twice by clapping on the legs while doing a jump, which is actually a great drill of getting used to doing double unders. Now the last thing we will show you is what you should do if you cannot jump at all. Because you're like, hey, what should I do? Well, you should do this. And this is your mountain climber again. There we go. And we do the fast mountain climber. For how much? For 45 reps. You cannot jump, you will get ripped. Okay, we just showed you all of the movements. I hope you guys practiced them with us, because now it's time to start on a 15-minute AMRAP. I place my smartwatch timer here. I set the settings at 15 minutes using the AMRAP button, and they're gonna get ready I hope you guys are ready. It's 3-3-3, different squat variations, 9 back clean and presses, then 30 doubles, or 45 single unders. If you guys are ready at home, listen to me counting you down. We start in 3, in 2, in 1, and game time, let's go. So 3 narrow squats, moving into 3 wide stance squats, knees tracking the toes properly, hips going nice and low, chest staying up, going to 3 regular standing squats, good leg pump going on here. It only took them 15 seconds, going right into the clean and press. So when I like to see this, right, when they lower the back, they're actually lowering the hips as well, and the chest remains up nice and high in position, which makes it a leg dominant movement from the floor. And this is exactly what we need to see in the clean. Hey, there's my hamstring coming along. This is that perfect, right? So guys, when you wash your hand the entire time during the lockdown, you get very dry hands, so I recommend you buying a cream that's very good for your hands. Upon completion of the Bag Clean&Press, we move on to double unders. 30 reps for Jenny here. Mariska going for 45 singles. And you're only chipping away, doing this for around a minute now. Good. Good. So that round is going to take in between a minute now, but probably close to a minute and a half in the end. So I'm going to be curious who's going to beat 10 rounds in this workout. Good luck, continue, press pause.